The sun never sets on peace.
Whoa.
So our task was to come up with a global vision. And at first we thought this was very ambitious. But when we started to imagine what peace would look like on the different continents, we realized that it was actually quite fun. So I want to take you on a short trip around the world. We will start in New York. So in the United Nations in 2030, 193 countries have now ratified the UN Nuclear Weapons Ban Treaty. There has been substantial UN reform, meaning that the United Nations is no longer just the vehicle for the P5 members, but is truly an institution working for all. The United Nations, and all of this has been accomplished under the first female Secretary General from the Philippines. All of those trips to the UN have paid off. So now we go south to Latin America.
So headquarters in the Philippines also.
We go south to Latin America, where we envision popular consultations between indigenous people regarding the extractive industries. And this means that the rights of indigenous peoples are fully respected by both governments and multinational corporations. We skip over to Oceania and the Pacific, where there are no more climate refugees. This implies that none of the islands have gone underwater. In the African continent, one of the goals, one of the visions that we had was the success of DDR, or disarmament, demobilization, reintegration programs, so that ex-combatants have a way of reintegrating into society and have put down their arms for good. In the Mediterranean, our dream was no more migrant deaths. And this could be accomplished in one of two ways. First, if conditions in countries have improved to the point where people are no longer forcibly displaced. Or second, if areas like the European Union or other destinations for migrants have come up with humanitarian policies for welcoming refugees. Israel-Palestine, the occupation is no longer, and apartheid is no longer. At the Vatican, we expect that the Pope will have released his encyclical on nonviolence, and as a consequence that the global church will have will have found ways to promote gospel nonviolence. Right, Pope Ledesma, thank you for the suggestion. In Brussels, we expect that the European Union is still operating because we believe that that is a positive institution for promoting peace. In Oslo, we have word that Pax Christi International has been awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. I don't think I can top that, but I have to end with just goals that we believe apply around the world. So the first of which would be the conversion of the arms trade into more productive industries, as well as the widespread adoption of what we call a green or sustainable economy. Good governance. Certainly this is true in many parts of the world. The idea of subsidiarity or local participation. This also relates closely to, I believe, the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals, which incidentally is slated for 2030. I've already mentioned no apartheid. And another idea with the local participation was this idea that that all people, including especially youth, would harness and use technology in a way that is productive and not destructive. And then finally, a preference for dialogue and negotiation instead of armed responses to conflict. I think this should be a pretty peaceful and just world if we bring this about.